What is up, YouTube? It's me once again, John Avenger, and I've been gone for a couple of days. I just had to, decompress. I've had a lot of stress this month, and I've had a lot of work. I've been walking a lot outside, so so good. Basically, I've been really busy, but now I'm back. I'm here to stay. I'm not going to be gone another 6 days. I promise you guys that. But I want to get to this review. It is one of my favorite superhero films, comic book movies of all time. This movie set the standard. If it wasn't for this, we wouldn't have had that, which I love to death. I'm sorry I disagree with people. They said that, the movie's too slow, but I love it. And that right there, that sequel. And this is the OG, the one that came out in 2008, one of the biggest movies of that year. Iron Man. Yep. This movie is awesome. I love this movie. I saw this movie in the theater when it came out in May of 2008. Had a blast with this. Robert Downey Jr. got back into the mainstream thanks to this movie. He sobered up. He cleaned up his act. He got his acting chops back in high gear, and he kicked ass in this movie. And he is Iron Man. Let's face it. Marvel, you're never gonna find another actor to play Iron Man as good as Robert Downey Jr. Let's be frank, in the next decade, they won't find anybody as good as Robert Downey Jr. This is the 2 disc special edition of the movie because I wanted the features. The first disc has some deleted and extended scenes, and there's a documentary that I want to see sometime this year before Avengers 2 comes out on Blu-ray. But basically, the gist of Tony Stark, he's a weapons dealer. He makes these weapons that he doesn't want to create war. He just wants to use them for to protect the world from certain destruction. And of course, it comes back to bite him because these Arabs they blow him up in the middle of the in the Middle East, and he gets injured, and they take him and they abduct him and they steal his heart. I mean, it's crazy. They do some crazy shit in this movie, and this is a PG-13 movie, and it's got some gore that's like for an R-rated film. This movie was probably almost R-rated, but they had to cut it down. The action in this movie is amazing when it's there. This movie, remember, it also has a slow burn. It's not like there's action in the first 30 minutes. You don't even see Iron Man until like an hour into the film, but the build up to this suit is freaking awesome. The first suit he has, the prototype, the silver suit that he uses, and he has flames. That's awesome. I love that. When you first see Iron Man in the movie, when he fights these Arabic douchebags. Yeah, no offense to people that are Arabic out there, just those Al Qaeda wannabes, these terrorists, jihads, they deserve what they get. These extremist jihads, they in this movie he kicks their ass. There's an homage to RoboCop when one of the Arabs is like hiding behind a wall, and then Iron Man punches it straight out of the original RoboCop. The cast is great in this movie. I love Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man. Tony Stark, he's funny as hell. He really made this character his own. Gwyneth Paltrow is great as Pepper Potts. I love Gwyneth Paltrow. I never had a problem with her. Terrence Howard, decent, but I prefer Don Cheadle in the sequels and in the Avengers too, because Cheadle brought up more to the role than Terrence Howard. Jeff Bridges, decent actor. I didn't think he was the best villain though. Like he yells a lot and he's bald. I mean, he sticks out like a sore thumb. But he's not the worst villain ever. The rest of the cast, you got Sean Tobe. I think he was like one of the lead Arabs that was bald. You have cameos from Stan Lee and a bunch of other people. The end credit scene. If you watch this movie, don't shut it off at the end credits. Make sure you see the end credits if you haven't seen it already. It's a great scene. It set up the Avengers very well for the baby steps towards that, and it paid off in spades, in my opinion. But I love this movie. I barely have any problems with it except for the villain isn't the best. The visual effects still hold up even from 2008. It looks fantastic. Uh, the film's not that it's 2 hours. It never felt long. It went at a fast pace when it needed to. I love the way the film is shot. Jon Favreau deserves a big hand because he directed the shit out of this movie. If it was in the hands of Michael Bay, he would have turned this into a freaking joke. But this movie was funny, it was entertaining, it was really fast paced. The story is interesting when there's no action. You have Tony Stark and his journey to becoming Iron Man. It's very, very interesting and it's intriguing, and it worked. And I love this movie. there's just, there's just no comparison. The sequels, I don't hate them. I'm probably going to review them sometime. I don't own them, but I want to give them a spotlight as well. But this is the OG. Thanks to this, we got Avengers. We got Avengers 2. We got Captain Winter Soldier. And we're getting much more from next year to 2019. So thank you, Jon Favreau, for doing this. This is one of your best films. I really enjoy the whole overall look of the film and the way the film is interpreted. Iron Man looks great. It looks just like in the comics. The red and gold, awesome. And it was a hard movie to make, and it took a long time to make it, and people were having their doubts. But when this movie came out, it blew people's minds, and it is one of the best comic book movies ever made. And as an Avengers fan, when this movie made me a fan of Iron Man, and he's been my favorite Avenger ever since. Thanks to Robert Downey Jr. because he's awesome, even in 2 and 3. I'm gonna say that. But that's my review of Iron Man. Just my overall thoughts on it. I don't want to spoil too much in the movie if you haven't seen it, because if you haven't seen Iron Man, give it a watch. I mean, this is pretty cool. I like this artwork right here. This Iron Man in the back. The 2 discs, well, there's not much. It's just generic looking DVDs. You have Paramount. I think you could do better with the way a DVD looks, because there's DVDs. The artwork for like Scream or Shout Factory releases look great. They have artwork on it. These just look kind of generic, but the movie's not generic. Watch it, love it, and give it the props, because this is the one that started it all. Without this, if this had flopped, Avengers would have never existed in theaters. And it deserves a pat on the back. I did see The Dark Knight the same year, enjoyed it as well, but I think this is better because it wasn't as long, and even though Joker was a better villain, that movie was more of a crime drama than an action movie, and I think this movie would have been the biggest film of 2008 if it wasn't for Dark Knight. But hey, Avengers still beat The Dark Knight, so I'm happy about that. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking my videos. Thanks for commenting on my videos and being fair, because there's a lot of people on YouTube that are just here for the attention and nothing else. They don't care about their subscribers, but I do. And I'll see you in the next one, guys. Take it easy.